Should your dog sleep in your bed with you? Honestly, I think most dog owners are asking themselves the wrong question. The question isn't, should my dog sleep in bed with me? The question should be, can my dog handle not sleeping in bed with me? Because those are two totally different things. Now, I specialize in working with dogs that are dealing with behavioral issues such as anxiety, separation anxiety, fear, aggression, reactivity, resource guarding, and whether the dog sleeps in the bed with the owner is rarely actually the problem. The dog owner's relationship with their dog is the problem. Because for some dogs, sleeping in the bed with you is totally fine. But for other dogs, it could be one of the worst things that you're doing for them. So let's talk about how to tell the difference and whether you should be letting your dog sleep in bed with you. Before we get into it, does your dog sleep in bed with you? Let me know in the comments. First things first, let's talk about why this question is so confusing for so many dog owners and dog trainers out there. The dog training world loves absolutes. Some trainers will tell you never ever, under no circumstance, let your dog sleep in the bed with you. And others will say, of course you should, that's your baby, you have to let them sleep in bed with you. And honestly, I think both sides completely miss the point. Sleeping in your bed with you is a privilege for your dog. And whether that privilege makes sense depends entirely on the individual dog. There should be no blanket rule on this subject. Let's first talk about when I don't care whether your dog sleeps in bed with you. Now, this is fairly simple. If your dog has no separation anxiety, your dog has no anxiety in general, your dog is not struggling with aggression in any form, your dog does not resource guard, your dog can calmly handle being put away from you, you have boundaries with your dog, then I don't care if your dog sleeps in bed with you. If that sounds like your dog and you want your dog to sleep in bed with you, but also if your dog wants to sleep in bed with you, then go for it. No problem. I don't believe in what a lot of trainers are trying to sell you too. So like if your dog is sleeping in bed with you, that they're trying to be your alpha, or they're trying to dominate you, or they're trying to control your house. That stuff is nonsense. I've worked with plenty of fantastic dogs who sleep in the bed with their owner with zero issue. Now let's talk about the dogs that I worry about. So if your dog shares the bed with you every night and it sounds like anything I'm about to tell you, then you might want to reconsider what you're doing. If your dog has separation anxiety, if your dog resource guards in any capacity from you, whether that's food, toys, water, personal space, affection from another dog, if your dog struggles with aggression in any capacity, if your dog struggles with anxiety in any capacity, or if your dog struggles with independence, then you probably shouldn't be letting your dog sleep in bed with you. These dogs are typically glued to their owners. They follow them everywhere. They cannot settle on their own. And then at night, they're sleeping directly on top of their owners, probably always touching throughout the night. So in no part of the dog's life is separation or independence ever really being fostered with these type of dogs. Now, let me be abundantly clear though, the bed isn't creating the problem, but it's certainly contributing to the problems that they have. If your dog already struggles with independence, constantly reinforcing close proximity throughout the night is definitely not helping you. All right, I've talked about when I don't care if your dog shares the bed with you, and I've talked about when I do care. And if you're still wondering, like, I don't know, maybe should my dog be able to have this privilege? Here's your real test. If your dog normally sleeps in bed with you, then tonight, don't let them. Put a boundary on your bed and see what happens. If your dog is whining or crying or barking or constantly trying to get up, or even worse, at worst case, they start being aggressive when you're pushing them off or guiding them off, then that's a good sign that you're probably not doing any good by letting them sleep in bed every night. But if your dog handles it well, you tell them to get off and you tell them to go lay down, and then they sleep throughout the night in their dog bed or on the floor or in their crate or in another room, and they handle it really well, then you really have no problem with sharing your bed with your dog. Your dog clearly is not dependent on it. I have 3 dogs and 2 of them sleep in my bed with me every single night. And I know that if I told them that tonight they couldn't, they'd be a little confused at first, like, Dad, we do this every single night. But they would eventually go lay down and be calm. And that's why they continue to have that privilege. So if this is something that you do every single night with your dog and your dog's a little confused at first and then they settle, then you're all good. But again, if your dog struggles in any capacity, if they're whining, if they're crying, if they're pacing, if they just are constantly getting up and down throughout the night, they're trying to test your boundaries, then you definitely shouldn't be allowing your dog to sleep in bed with you. Because your dog sleeping in bed with you is not just a sleeping arrangement at this point. Your dog is dependent on you. There's a dependency problem that you have with your dog. And dependency is not the same thing as having a healthy relationship. And lastly, let's talk about my biggest red flag, where under no circumstance should your dog ever be allowed to sleep in bed with you. And you probably can guess this one. This is when your dog is using any form of aggression with you, especially in regards to resources. If your dog growls on the bed, if they are stiff body language on the bed, if they are snapping at you, or they're showing you their teeth, or they even try to bite you, or they've bitten you before. And I know that might sound crazy because I've worked with people that do this. Their dogs have done aggressive behaviors, been aggressive with them in their bed, and they still let the dog be in the bed with them. If that sounds like your dog, you need to rethink what you're doing seriously. Because again, at this point, we're not talking about sleeping arrangements. We're talking about a dog that feels that they can and will control space under any means necessary. And that's a way bigger issue, and you really need to put in the work to solve that before you decide to give more privileges to your dog. And remember, it doesn't just apply to the bed itself. If your dog displays aggression with you in any form at all, whether it's around food or toys or water or affection or space, if your dog is showing any aggression with you, if you're trying to move them off the bed or off the couch or out of the doorway, whatever it is, then why would you even want to share your bed with that type of a dog? You have a serious leadership issue with your dog if your dog is displaying aggression with you in any sense, and you need to fix that before you start giving them more privileges. To kind of sum this all up, it's not the bed itself and letting your dog sleep in the bed with you that is the problem. Generally, if you have a good relationship, a healthy relationship with your dog, and that doesn't mean that you love your dog. Everybody loves their dog. It means that your dog listens to you, your dog is calm, your dog takes your guidance, you have boundaries, your dog can be independent, then sharing the bed with them is not going to cause you any problems. But if you struggle with leadership with your dog, then sharing your bed with them is not going to make anything better, and it definitely can make things a lot worse. And if that leaves you wondering, do I have a healthy relationship with my dog? Ask yourself these questions. Does your dog ignore commands? Does your dog drag you and pull you down the street? Does your dog ignore you when you tell them to come? Does your dog demand attention from you constantly? Does your dog control interactions with you? Does your dog struggle with handling frustration? Then honestly, you just don't have much to gain by putting that type of a dog in bed with you. You're simply giving a dog with poor boundaries even more unlimited access and influence in your relationship, and you will regret that. In the end, the bed is not the problem. Your relationship with your dog is. Honestly, healthy relationships survive privileges. Unhealthy relationships often get worse because of them. So, should your dog sleep in bed with you? My answer is honestly, maybe. It depends on you and your dog's relationship with each other. Personally, I like having my dogs in bed with me. 2 out of the 3 dogs that I have sleep in bed with me. The other one could if he wanted to. He'd rather sleep in his crate. You also don't have to have your dog in bed with you in order to be a good owner. But overall, if your dog is respectful, if they're calm, and if they're emotionally independent, then go for it. If that's what you want to do, let that dog sleep in the bed with you. But if your dog needs the bed, or they can't function without it, or they use aggression in any aspect of their life, but especially around the bed, then you definitely do not want to let that dog sleep in bed with you. That's, again, not forever, but you got to work through those issues before you give that privilege to your dog. Because sleeping in the bed should be a choice, not an emotional necessity for your dog. And it certainly should not be something that your dog feels like they can control. Let me know in the comments if your dog sleeps in bed with you. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Like this video, share it with somebody you know, and as always, subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more straightforward, no bullshit dog training advice. I'm the Big Dog Guy, and I'll see you in the next one.